Hello everyone, and welcome to week 10 of the journal. Over the past several weeks, we have explored different ways journaling helps us understand our thoughts, experiences, and personal growth. Through observation, silence, and reflection, you have practiced using writing as a tool for awareness. This week, we shift our focus slightly. Instead of looking only at journaling as a personal practice, we will begin thinking about journals as historical documents, texts that can help us understand how people experienced the world around them. Personal writing does more than record private thoughts. It can also preserve everyday experiences that later become important historical records. When we think about history, we usually imagine textbooks, timelines, or important events like wars and revolutions. But history is not only recorded through official documents. Sometimes, the most powerful historical records come from something much simpler, a personal journal. A journal captures what it felt like to live during a particular moment in time. It records everyday experiences, emotions, and thoughts as they happened. In this week's lesson, we will explore how journals function as historical windows, allowing us to see the past through the perspective of individuals who lived through it. A historical window is a way of looking into a specific moment in time. Unlike textbooks, which often summarize events long after they happen, journals record experiences in real time. They allow readers to understand not only what happened, but how people felt while those events were unfolding. Through personal writing, we gain access to daily routines, emotional reactions, and the small details of life that rarely appear in official historical records. These details help transform history from something abstract into something deeply human. When we study history, we often focus on major events, wars, political changes, or social movements. But most people do not experience history through large events alone. They experience it through everyday life. Journals capture these ordinary moments, waiting for a bus, talking with family members, worrying about work or school. These small details reveal how larger historical events affect daily routines. In this way, journals help us understand everyday history, the human experience behind historical events. Writers do not exist outside of their environment. Every piece of writing is shaped by the social, cultural, and political conditions of the time. Even when a journal does not directly mention historical events, the context still influences the writer's tone, emotions, and concerns. For example, during periods of uncertainty or crisis, journal entries may reflect fear, anxiety, resilience, or hope. Understanding the context in which a journal was written helps us interpret the meaning behind the writer's words. Many official historical records focus on governments, institutions, and powerful individuals, but journals often preserve voices that might otherwise be forgotten. Students, workers, young people, and ordinary individuals have all documented their experiences through personal writing. These perspectives offer valuable insight into how history is experienced differently across communities. By reading journals, we gain access to stories that challenge the idea that history is the same for everyone. One of the most well-known examples of a journal as a historical window is the Diary of Anne Frank. Anne Frank was a Jewish teenager who wrote in her diary while hiding from Nazi persecution during World War II. Her diary does not focus on political strategy or military events. Instead, she writes about daily life in hiding, the tension between people sharing a small space, and her hopes for the future. Through her writing, readers see how a global historical tragedy affected the life of a young person. Her journal reminds us that history is experienced on a deeply personal level.
When journals are written, they're usually intended to the writer alone. But when they are read years later, their meaning can change. Readers bring new perspectives, values, and questions to the text. A detail that seemed ordinary to the writer may later become historically significant. This shift in interpretation shows how personal writing can take on new meaning across time. Reading someone's personal journal also raises ethical questions. Because journals are often private, writers may never expect their words to be read by others. As readers, we must approach these texts with care and respect. Rather than judging the writer, we try to understand their experiences within the context of their time and circumstances. Ethical reading requires empathy and awareness. Journals continue to matter today because they preserve human experience. They capture emotion, observation, and reflection that formal records often overlook. Even journals written today may become historical documents in the future. Through personal writing, individuals contribute a large story about how people lived, thought, and experienced their world. History is not only written by governments or institutions, it's written quietly every day by ordinary people. Every journal entry becomes a small record of human experience, and together, these personal stories help us understand the past in a more meaningful way. Thank you for watching this week's lesson on Journal as Historical Windows. I hope it gave you a new perspective on how personal writing connects individual experience to history. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much.